For some time now, Corey, a long list of big men have entered WWE to take Big Show's place and put him out to pasture.
Yeah, and right at the top of that list is the monster among men, Braun Strowman. When these two behemoths square off, their combined weight nearly tops 800 pounds. That's a lot of pressure for a ring to support.
Look at them, locked inside that cage like a couple of rabid animals.
You make a good point, Corey, about the pressure the ring goes under when Big Show is in there with another giant like Braun Strowman. The stress to hold their capacity is nearly impossible and a recipe for destruction.
And we've seen that destruction several times. Off of a suplex, the two exploded the ring right off its bearings. But no one, including the monster among men, has been able to send Big Show up to that proverbial pasture.
Oh, and a strong Irish whip. That's how you make an impact. Big Show clearly out of his element at this point.
I did not expect to see this.
I'd say he's starting to feel the pressure a bit.
This cage really has gotten the best of him.
Oh, Braun Strowman slamming into the mat.
I'm not sure how much he has left.
Oh, no. When it comes to Braun Strowman, Corey, I'd say the Monster Among Men has become the most destructive WWE superstar in history, and in short order.
Yeah, Braun Strowman definitely takes inflicting pain to a whole new level, but he's fine with destroying inanimate objects too, especially vehicles.
To further demonstrate the destruction of Strowman that you guys mentioned, we've seen him pick up a limo with Elias inside, and he's overturned the WWE's production trailer. Then, at WrestleMania, he crushed a parade float.
And then there's the wonderful moments where Braun mixes destruction with pain. Before their Royal Rumble match, Braun used a grappling hook to pull a giant lighting rig onto Kane and Brock Lesnar. That's why we now have a no grappling hooks backstage policy.
So damaging.
He's always had the ability to take it up a notch.
Look out, Braun Strowman is measuring.
Completely dominating.
Looks like this show's over, guys. Clearly looking to cut off the flow to the carotid artery.
It's got to be hard to rebound from that one. Before 2017's Extreme Rules, there were just 3 previous tag team matches where championship gold was decided inside a steel cage in the history of WWE special events. The Hardy Boys were in 2 of those matches. At Extreme Rules, in order to win the match, both members of a team had to exit the cage and have both feet on the floor.
The Hardys used their famous continuity to gain the early advantage until Cesaro and Sheamus utilized their devastating power to slow the pace of the match down. Both teams battled atop the steel cage, but in the end, Sheamus and Cesaro won the race to the arena floor to become new Raw Tag Team Champions.
I feel a little silly asking this, given that there is probably no good answer. But, Corey, how do you beat Braun Strowman?
Well, you're right, Cole. That is a silly question because there's no blueprint when it comes to defeating a monster like Braun Strowman. The best advice I would give, I guess, is try to chop him down to size.
A clubbing blow. Braun Strowman is a force within the ring.
Byron, Corey suggests trying to chop Braun Strowman down to size as a possible strategy against the Monster Among Men. What do you think? Would that strategy work against Strowman?
Well, it's certainly worth a shot. If you take out Strowman's legs, then it becomes a mat game. I mean, you're probably going to get crushed, but maybe not as badly.
That'll have you worrying about long-term injuries for sure.
Of course, we all recognize Braun Strowman as a legitimate main eventer, but remember, guys, it wasn't that long ago that he was considered the black sheep of the Wyatt family.
Shoulder right to the midsection.
so damaging.
As Byron was saying, Braun Strowman absolutely took orders from Bray Wyatt at one point. But that all changed following the 2016 WWE Draft, when Strowman broke out on his own and proved that he was indeed a monster among men.
And he did that, Cole, by defeating 2, 3, sometimes even 4 superstars at the same time.
He's always had the ability to take it up a notch.
Both of these competitors have so much resolve, it's going to take a minor miracle to keep one of them down.
He's left wide open here.
I don't think he even realizes it. He looks dazed.
This is about to get bad.
Braun Strowman, what a maneuver.
Looks like this show's over, guys.
Braun Strowman gets the win.
For some time now, Corey, a long list of big men have entered WWE to take Big Show's place and put him out to pasture.
Yeah, and right at the top of that list is the monster among men, Braun Strowman. When these two behemoths square off, their combined weight nearly tops 800 pounds. That's a lot of pressure for a ring to support.
Look at him, locked inside that cage like a couple of rabid animals.
You make a good point, Corey, about the pressure the ring goes under when Big Show is in there with another giant like Braun Strowman. The stress to hold their capacity is nearly impossible and a recipe for destruction.
And we've seen that destruction several times. Off of a suplex, the two exploded the ring right off its bearings. But no one, including the monster among men, has been able to send Big Show off to that proverbial pasture. The rivalry between Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude began during the Super Pose Down at the 1989 Royal Rumble. Then it progressed to where both superstars battled over the Intercontinental Championship. At SummerSlam 90, the rivals met inside a 15-foot-high steel cage for the WWE Championship. Victory could be achieved by pinfall or escape from the cage. He's always had the ability to take it up a notch.
Corey, the WWE Championship match between the Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude was the second half of the double main event at 1990 SummerSlam. The rivalry between the Warrior and the Ravishing One was so heated that no one knew what to expect once the two men were able to battle inside a steel cage, which at the time was the most grueling match in all of WWE.
The Ultimate Warrior dominated early on with his incredible strength. Rick Rude turned the tables and used the steel surroundings to his advantage. At one point, Rude dove from the top of the cage onto the Warrior. But after the Warrior's signature Gorilla Press Slam, the Ultimate One climbed over the cage and retained his WWE Championship.
Before 2017's Extreme Rules, there were just 3 previous tag team matches where championship gold was decided inside a steel cage in the history of WWE special events.
Braun Strowman is getting ready here.
Oh my gosh, from what heights? That's what he was looking for, Michael. We talk about how important stipulations are in a steel cage match. If superstars sign a contract where the only way to win is escape the cage and have both your feet touch the floor, the competitors must have a plan. Especially since you have to be comfortable trying to escape through the cage door as you do climbing over the top of the cage and vice versa.
Corey, you touched on something moments ago that's so important for the combatants in a steel cage match to remember. A superstar must be able to think offensively to figure out how they're going to escape the cage. They must think defensively at the same time so they can prevent their opponent from getting out of the cage first and winning the match.
Well, a superstar must become comfortable with escaping the cage by both exiting the cage door and by climbing over the top of the cage. They must also be aware of their attributes and what's best for them. Let's just say if you're a giant like The Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, or even Braun Strowman, it's preferred to exit through the cage door.
He's inflicting some serious pain here.
Whoa, Strowman dodged that one.
Look out, Braun Strowman is measuring. It's got to be hard to rebound from that one.
That has got to be it. Yeah, there's no way this match isn't over after that one. The WWE Universe has seen the evolution of the steel cage in the enclosure known today as Hell in a Cell. The first time an enclosed cage was seen was in October of 1983 in the last Battle of Atlanta. The enclosed cage was seen a few years later in the War Games match from the NWA. There were even cages stacked on top of each other like WCW's Tower of Doom.
Byron, we talk about the progression of steel cage matches and the type of structures that have been spawned from them. I need to point out that some cages have been electrified. One was made from bamboo in the form of a Punjabi prison match. And, of course, the Elimination Chamber with glass pods and steel doors.
And today we have the Asylum match, where weapons are on top of the cage. Just goes to show you that times may change, but the objective to destroy an opponent remains the same. There's still no better way to settle a score than to do battle with your adversary inside a steel cage.
The steel cage is a massive enclosure that stands 15 feet in height. For almost 35 years, a select group of high flyers have taken their aerial assaults to greater heights. And when I say that, I mean superstars climb to the top of the steel cage, the real high red district, and dive off onto their opponent. And that all started with one man in October of 1983, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
To your point earlier, Byron, we've definitely seen some unbelievable attacks be launched from the top of the steel cage. And you mentioned the most iconic, the steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship that saw Jimmy Superfly Snuka clash against bitter rival, the magnificent Morocco.
There's no denying that Superfly set the bar. You look over the years to people like Jeff and Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. They continued to push the envelope and execute.
Braun Strowman is getting ready here. Oh, look at Strowman with an elevated triangle here.
Looks like this show's over, guys.
There's a certain feeling that comes over the combatants in a steel cage match once they hear the door close and see the official lock it. A superstar must know that their body is going to be thrown against the steel, that their face will most likely be raked across the cage, and that anything is legal in this environment.
This steel cage match is in the books.
No doubt that was a match people will be telling their kids about for years to come. Here's another look.
Here is your winner,